So if you landed on this video, I want to congratulate you because that means that you are willing to work on yourself to heal your wounds, but also take accountability over the dynamics you end up in. So in this video, I'm gonna help you to come back to your center. So I know really what it's like to be in your anxiously attachment style. I've been in my anxious attachment style after my first long relationship. So that was when I was 21. I got out of that relationship and now I'm already 25. So it has been a long cycle of dating avoidant people, and I I think I can say that right now I'm actually quite secure in my attachment style because I learned the specific tools to regulate my nervous system, to self-soothe, and to communicate my needs and boundaries more clearly, but also to become more aware of them. So in this video, I'm going to help you a little bit to come back to your center so you can find your balance again, so you can balance out the dynamic with the person you're in right now. But I'm also going to give you some insights on how you can continue on this journey. So I want this video to provide the first steps for you to become more secure. And then I hope you get inspired to take the next steps to become even more secure. So that's what we're gonna do. The thing why you're probably anxiously attached for me personally was because I dealt with a lot of neglect when I was younger, and I also lost my father at a very young age, and my mother was always working full time in order to make ends meet. So it wasn't really someone's fault that I didn't got my needs met, because I know that my parents had certain cards they were playing the game with, and none of them were fortunate. That ended up in me having a lot of traumas, wounds that I bumped into in my adult life. But I was really committed to heal myself and to also end up in a loving relationship eventually. So that's why I chose to do the inner work, because I don't want to settle in a relationship that's going to make me not feel loved and wanted. I want to welcome in a relationship that is healing, that is loving, that is going to be the good example for my children. When you're in this very moment feeling anxious, and that's the reason why you came on this video, we're gonna first do a simple practice just to come back to your center so you can receive all the information that I'm going to share in this video. So we're gonna do this together, and we're just gonna take a really deep breath into the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then breathe in again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then one last time. Breathe in 4 long seconds. 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do your last breath out. Make some noise if that's necessary to get it all out. And right now, you're connected back to the present moment because you connected with your breath. So you're here present to receive everything I'm going to share with you. And that's what I also want you to do more often when you get caught up in this anxious avoidance dance. Come back to yourself by simple breathing exercises like this, or do things that ground you in this present moment, like clean your house, go for a run, work out, write down your feelings. These are many important examples how you can regulate your nervous system in a better way and come back to the present moment, because that's probably the most stressing thing when you're anxiously attached, is that you keep thinking about this other person. Your energy keeps being directed towards them, and that's why you're also pushing them away. But that's also where you are actually neglecting yourself and what you need in that very moment. And what you're doing in that moment is looking to that person and asking them, like, energetically, meet my needs, validate me, see me. And to step out of this pool, out of this dynamic, you have the power here. Because when you're looking at the other person to meet your needs, and of course you deserve it, But when you're doing that, you're giving them the power for your emotional state. And that's something you really gotta switch, because you have the power and you should take that power. So switch the energy and turn it inwards towards yourself. Instead of looking for them for validation, look at yourself and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where am I feeling it in my body right now? So go into that feeling where you feel it in your body. Make this an exercise for yourself. Do this weekly. Do this every time you feel you get triggered. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? What does it look like? Try to describe it so you can make it more, you become more conscious of that feeling, even though it's very abstract. And then ask yourself, what is the first time that I can remember that I felt this? And then you maybe get a vision, an idea, the feeling gets stronger, you see a person, and then dive into that vision. And what you will see most of the times is that it's an inner child wound. And because in the past you were dependent on your parents to get your needs met, your inner child is still frozen in that wound. And that's why you still operate from your inner child in these connections. Because your needs didn't get met as a child. And as a child, you can't meet them yourself because you still have to learn how that works. And that's a very important thing, to learn how to meet your needs. And that's why this exercise is very important, to come back to your core, to come back to your essence. So if you need it right now, take your journal, pause this video, and ask these questions. I will put it down in the description, the questions you can ask yourself, like, what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? When did I feel this for the first time? These questions, I'm going to put it down below so you can do this exercise more regularly. Because this is the exercise how you can heal your inner child. This is the exercise how you can gain a stronger connection with your inner child and take responsibility over all your needs and desires. So then, when you are connecting with your inner child, when you see a vision of your inner child, and you see exactly when that trauma was created, then you can rewrite that narrative. So you can come into the picture and ask your inner child, like, hey, I see how you're feeling, and I find it very sad that you're going through this all alone, because that's not what you deserve. You deserve it to feel loved, to feel seen, to feel taken care of. So ask your inner child, what can I do to meet your needs? Is there anything that I can do? And what I noticed with my inner child is that she's mostly silent. That's because, as I said, my throat chakra is blocked, having a hard time to communicate my needs. So then I just tell my inner child, I promise you that I'll be there for you, no matter what. I will always have your back. You can always come to me, communicate your needs and desires. I will always listen to them, and I will make sure that your needs will get met. I promise you. So that is a promise that I made to my inner child. After my worst situationship, that's the promise that I made. And after that, I actually went celibate. And then I really committed to making my needs met. And that looks like speaking up, asserting yourself, asserting your needs and boundaries. But what is also really important, what I would advise you if you're really having a hard time coming home to yourself and you're constantly projecting your energy outwards in order to receive the validation from someone else, I would advise you to maybe go celibate. That's maybe a bit extreme, but date yourself for a while. Go into solitude, get to know yourself better, and really practice your love language. So for me, it's quality time. So I do a lot of quality time. In December, I went on a solo trip to Florence, and one of my favorite activities is to go to musea. So that's what I did this whole holiday. And Florence is such a beautiful, Firenze is such a beautiful city. So it was so healing for me that I did that for myself, that I went there and that I was present with myself and that I was enjoying the finer things in life. But I also go on coffee dates on my own. And even in the city that I live right now, I also book city trips on my own. I even did it on my birthday, on my 25th birthday. In the morning, I went to the museum by myself. And after that, I met up with family to have dinner. So these are all small ways where you can show up for yourself and make that a practice and learn to always ask yourself, what do I need? Do I need quality time? Do I need to journal? Do I need a friend to hold me? Do I need a friend I can express my feelings to? Do I need to create? Do I need to play? Do I need to dance? Learn to ask that to yourself and get committed to giving that to yourself. When you learn to do this, it also becomes easier to show up as that version in a dynamic with someone else, because you start to feel that it's normal to meet your own needs. You start to learn that it is normal that you can express your needs. You start to learn that it's okay to have your boundaries. So from that space, it won't be as scary anymore to express your needs and desires in relationships. And because of that, it's easier to walk away when things aren't aligning. That's like a really important thing, like strengthen the relationship with yourself, because from that space you can show up with more inner trust and self-worth and self-love in a dynamic with someone else. And from that space, abandonment, the rejection wound won't be that strong anymore, because the whole reason why we're anxiously attached is because we're scared that someone is going to abandon us, that we're not good enough, that we're not likable, that we get rejected when we express our needs, that we feel needy when we express our needs. But we're human, we're not needy. You're just expressing them to the wrong person. And I think that's also one of the biggest lessons that you really need to learn. First on a cognitive level, but you also really got to integrate it energetically. And that is a process of practicing. And you can only practice this in relationships. And that is to always express your needs and boundaries, but not from a place of trying to control the other person, not from a place of making them do what you want them to do, making them be what you want them to be, because that's what most people do, because you feel dysregulated when that person can be the version you want them to be. But communicate your needs and boundaries and desires from a place of knowing that that's what you deserve. Like, you are the person that needs to be accountable for making your needs met, because someone else doesn't know what they are unless you communicate them, make them known for other people. And a very important part in that is to accept that you don't have any control over the other person. You don't have control over their reaction. So maybe you express your needs and then they ghost you. But you don't have control over how they react to what you're communicating. And that's why you shouldn't try to say these things out of a controlling, manipulating way. Say it because you are asserting yourself. And say it to let other people know where you are at, where they can meet you, and what the conditions are for them in order for you to allow them into your life, into your space. And when you communicate from that integrated space of, this is where I'm at, this is what I need, this is what I want. If it aligns, it aligns. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it isn't personal. It isn't personal. It's a very important one. Then you won't be so scared to be rejected anymore, because you understand that it's more about compatibility instead of being good enough, trying to prove you're worthy of love. And you're also not so scared anymore to walk away when you see that someone isn't in alignment with what you were looking for. So for me, as an example, I know that when I enter a relationship where someone can give and pour into me, that will heal also a part of my inner child. But that first starts with my relationship with myself. Otherwise, I will sabotage a good thing. That's the other side of it. So in order to really get clear on your needs and desires, your non-negotiables, it is important to date yourself, to get to know yourself better. So that's why I would really advise to take some time in solitude, because then you will also feel like, I am fine in solitude. You will actually start to love solitude. You will love spending time on your own. And then when you meet someone and they don't align with what you're looking for, or you don't align with what they're looking for, can go both ways, of course, then you can always remind yourself that you were fine before them, so you will also be fine after them. And from that space, you won't hold so tightly onto them. And from that space, you can allow space between the two of you. So you can healthily grow a connection. Because that's what most of us really want, right? Some of us might admit it and some of us don't. But at the end of the day, we all just want to be loved. We all just want to be seen and taken care of and feeling appreciated, feeling prioritized. And that's okay because we're human beings. Like, one of the most important core needs that we have is connection. If you're someone that also wants children, then I think it's even more important to do this inner work, because it will set the standards for what your child will grow up with, what your child will learn that love is. So it's not only for yourself, but also for your children. If someone is not it, then just lean on faith and know that the right person is out there. That maybe the right person is waiting for you, is looking for you. Because he is desiring someone that is exactly like you. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what's off your radar screen. So also lean on that faith when you need that. So I hope you gained a bit more clarity and you woke up from your anxiously attached addiction where you were stuck in right now, which is totally fine. We don't shame here because we're all human. We're just learning. Oh, that's the last thing that I also want to share. Use every connection you have with someone as a way to grow and heal and become a more integrated version, because connections is really the place where you learn and practice all these things that I just shared. Of course, it's important to also learn to love yourself, be in solitude, but also go out there and connect with people, learn to assert your boundaries. All these things, you can only do it in connections. And if you learn to see every connection as a way where you can grow closer to yourself, see better for yourself what you're looking for, then every connection, even when it doesn't work out, won't feel as a loss anymore. Because it will add to the person you're becoming. So really keep that perspective, and eventually you will find the person that will appreciate all of you, the good and the bad, and will specifically meet you where you need to be met, because that's what you deserve. So stop chasing the wrong people, start chasing yourself, and start working on your self-concept, on your self-love, on your self-worth, because you are already worth it, but maybe you just forgot along the way that you are. So that's what I wanted to end this video with. So thank you for watching, and I love to see you on my next video.